Okay, in this lesson, I'm going to talk to you about why it's not necessarily a good idea to take a photograph and then throw a special effect over the entire thing, or a filter, or whatever it's called, in your imaging program. One of the top amateur mistakes that people make is they take a photo. In this case, I have a photo from 2 nights ago when my husband and I went to the restaurant in Rome where fettuccine alfredo was invented. No affiliation, not trying to advertise them, although you may be hungry after this lesson. So one thing that a lot of my students do when they're first learning is they may take a photo and then they'll go in Photoshop or Instagram or wherever, and they'll find their filters and their special effects, and they may put, I'm just going to go to filter gallery here for a moment, and they may put a really cheesy special effect over the entire thing. Some of the more extreme ones are things like glowing edges. There's a really cheesy one called plastic wrap. You can actually move it around and see it more closely here. A lot of people will put a special effect over their entire image and then hit save and say it's done. I'm here to tell you it's not done. The reason is that if you make an image that looks like this and put it on your blog or in your course or in your ebook or whatever, people are not going to see your image first. They're going to see the special effect first. It's kind of like those really bad wedding videos or mall videos from the 1980s with all the really bad transitions, the barn doors, the page peel, etc. They take attention away from your message. So I'm here to tell you that I would recommend, rather than going with one of these out-of-the-box filters and hitting OK, I'm going to hit cancel, I would recommend use more subtle effects and don't necessarily put it over the whole image. So maybe just a part of your image. As you get more familiar with your image program, you may become more comfortable working in layers. So I'm actually going to just, I'm in Photoshop right now. I'm going to duplicate my layer so that I have my original underneath here. And then let's say for whatever reason that I'm just going to very quickly, without doing this carefully and slowly like I should be doing, I'm just going to very quickly and haphazardly select my background here with my lasso tool. Okay, then if I go under filters, let's say I want to blur out my background a little bit. I'm a big fan of Gaussian blur, and you can, hang on a minute. Okay, so here's my Gaussian blur. And if I adjust it a little bit, you can actually see in the preview, if I do it a little bit versus a lot, it becomes more noticeable. Let's say I do that, right? And I say OK. Okay, now my background has been blurred out. Select, deselect, and okay, of course it's still a little bit sharp here, so I might want to grab my blur tool just to blend that together. But you see that I'm using a special effect, but it's not as annoying or jarring as putting it over the whole thing. Another thing I can do when I have my duplicate layer over my background is if I drop the opacity of this layer, I can actually blend my effect into the original below. I can turn it off and you can see the original. When I turn it on, it's 61%. I can really control how much of this effect I'm going to have. So I highly recommend don't just throw silly special effects over your images. Be calculating about it. Be smart about it. Use the settings to make it subtle, and less is more. Okay, so if you learned anything in this lesson, please remember less is more, and you want people to pay attention to your idea, your message, and your image, and not be distracted by silly special effects. Special effects in small doses are okay. Okay? Great. Let's move on.